Hello everyone, Sir and Disney here. It's Tuesday morning. It's a beautiful day outside, and we're going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw and the very, very interesting events of what happened last evening, including the greatest crowd in the history of man in one aspect, and absolutely the worst in quite another. But obviously I liked it. Now before we get started, I do want to mention that I want to talk about Annette Funicello and the fact that she passed away yesterday. I was a big fan of the Beach Party movies that she had with Frankie Avalon, and I very much enjoyed her bubbliness and the fact that she was oh so happy, and you always could tell when you saw Annette on screen that you knew you were going to have a great time, and you knew you were going to have a good time, and you knew you were going to be entertained. And I always was. And I will continue to be as I watch old videos of the Mickey Mouse Club when she was a Mouseketeer. Now, another thing is, we'll take you back to something else that I remember her for, and that is a guest spot on Full House, actually. Her and Frankie Avalon basically reprising their iconic beach party characters. Not necessarily the people, but their character model for the Beach Party movies. In an episode that basically Joey was trying out for a television pilot called, I believe, Surf's Up, and Frankie and Annette were both on the show, and it ends up getting not turned into a television series, but turned into an animated cartoon, which made Joey flip the surfing kangaroo. So, yeah, I remember that. And also, we go back to the inside joke in the Muppets queue with a net full of Jell-O. So, sadly, she did pass away last night, and I did want to start off with saying a few words about Annette Funicello and my memories of her. So, Annette, you will be missed. You will definitely be missed. So, I shed a tear at this moment for the passing of an iconic great for the Walt Disney Company and for people in general. She was a classy lady, she really was. But folks, I know you want to hear about what I thought about Raw last night. And before I talk about Raw, I do want to mention something. I hope you guys enjoy the new format, because now I'm shooting on my iPhone 5, and I'm shooting the upwards for right now, because obviously I've got dialogue to read. So when I have dialogue to read, i.e. AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews, or something that involves me having to look at a television screen to try to find out information, you're going to get something like this. However, when I'm able to just talk randomly walking around the house and walking around the parks, you're going to get something like this. So I hope you guys enjoy this, because I enjoy doing this. So I'm trying to get how the camera works on this thing. It's kind of awkward. So, let's talk about Monday Night Raw from last night, shall we? Now, also, I hope you guys enjoyed Will, and I did mention Mr. Flashback. Mr. Flashback will be segments that are going to start being shot very soon. I did mention the fact that the first thing last night is going to be a Hulk Hogan theme for the first couple weeks of the show. Actually, Mr. Flashback will be reviewing No Holds Barred, which he has never seen before, and I found that out last night, so that's the reason why I came up with this idea. That and I kind of want to torture Will. No, not really, but I mean, honestly, I wanted him to see No Holds Barred, because I like the movie. It's not a great movie, but it's enjoyable for the right reasons and the wrong reasons at the same time. So, we're looking at that. Mr. Flashback will be reviewing Hulk Hogan classics, such as No Holds Barred, Mr. Nanny, and Suburban Commando. And, I might actually, let him loose on Batman and Robin, because I know he really badly wants to bury it. I know if I even mention the term Bat Credit Card, which I think if I just mention that right there, Will just flipped out wherever he is right now. Whether he's driving back to his house, or from work or school, or even just lounging around his house or taking a run outside. Wherever Will is right now, I'm pretty sure the fact that I just said Bat credit card made him lose his mind. So, I think I'm going to let him go off on Batman and Robin somewhere in the distant future. And plus, I found out at the WrestleMania party something I really knew, but I just pushed to the back of my head. He's never seen Pulp Fiction. So I'm going to have him do some Quentin Tarantino movies for Mr. Flashback, and obviously some Kevin Smith movies. I'm not always going to pick the movie. He probably will most of the time. But there's a few I really want to see what his take of are. So, that's coming up in the near future. So, let's talk Monday Night Raw. So, excuse me. So, we were live. This time live, I can mention that, from the Izod Center in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The night after WrestleMania 29. And basically, this crowd, I'm going to say right off the top, this crowd was incredible. And the fact that they were so into everything, including themselves, just made for a much better program. I truly believe this. Now, we started off the show with, what else? The brand new WWE Champion, John Cena, sporting a brand new white t-shirt that says "The Champ is here" and an arrow pointing downwards, and the new WWE Championship is around the waist of the shirt. Brilliant. And the letter R, time, just one word, R time, and then equals now on the back. So you guys can pick that up at WWE Shop. So, I'm sure I saw a lot of people wearing them last night. So, I got something on the iPhone. So, get rid of that. Yeah, that's right. So, that's the reason I did that. So, because I was trying to blow it off the screen, but, yeah, well, it didn't work. So, Cena comes out, and the entire crowd just absolutely hates him. Like, New York, New Jersey, John Cena, they kind of go about as well as me and eating healthy. It just does not work. So Cena comes out, and we find out, like we were talking about on last night's video, that because of Twitter, The Rock went back to Los Angeles after WrestleMania instead of being on Raw tonight. The reason for this was, apparently he tore his abdominal muscles mid-match, and after that, of course, he kept going for about 15-20 minutes after that. So kudos to The Rock for keeping going. But obviously he needs to rest up. So instead of going to television the next day, he went back to Los Angeles. I can understand that. So John Cena says, furthermore, it should be every superstar's dream to main event WrestleMania. And also, on top of that, it should be every superstar's dream to win at WrestleMania. There's the adulation, the respect, the cheers, which of course prompts everybody in the crowd to boo him. They won't stop booing him the whole show, trust me, this does not stop. Cena's a little bit amused at all this response from the crowd, and he keeps it going. He wonders why they're so angry. Cena's upset himself, Mania's over, but this is Monday Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania. Fans start chanting boring. So Cena reminds us how the Raw last year had Brock coming back, and he whipped his ass. And that started a frenzy on the internet. And, of course, they cheer for that. Cena's thinking, how about a championship dance? No kick, no step. How about a heel turn? And, of course, he turns his heel like he did on the Hot 97 video that we all saw on the internet, which is brilliant, by the way. John Cena's brilliant in that aspect. He says, a great man once said, to be the man, you have to beat the man. Of course, he's referencing Ric Flair, as everyone would know. And he beat The Rock and arose a new WWE champion. The crowd's all over Cena tonight. Now, Cena thinks we should start it off big for the next road to WrestleMania, wanting to defend the WWE title tonight. He talks about Ziggler, Orton, Punk, and right after that, we hear very familiar music, and Mark Henry comes to the ring. What's up, champ? Mark Henry says. He furthermore tells him that the problem with looking for trouble is simply that it will often find you. The crowd is having some fun with this, chanting sexual chocolate. So Cena, of course, jumps on this immediately and pretty much defends that statement and turns it into a joke. Henry tells Cena to look at him when he's talking. He dominated Ryback and he's been hearing all this talk. Then the robots in the crowd start chanting, "Feed me more." He wants action against Cena. Cena says, "You have the breath of 1,000 asses." Yay, real PG. And accepts Mark Henry's challenge tonight for the WWE Championship. No. Booker T's music hits. And he comes out saying Cena won't be making the match tonight as Mark Henry will face Cena one-on-one. And if he wins, he'll get a title shot. Only if he wins. Mark Henry tells John Cena to bring his A-game, and he leaves the ring. Up next, Alberto Del Rio takes on Zeb Coulter and the Dark Patriot Jack Swagger in a handicap match. Gee, I predicted what's coming up next, and it's up after this commercial break. But that is quickly forgotten because after we put over that match, we find out that next will be the in-ring debut one-on-one of Big E Langston. So Big E Langston is set to take on Daniel Bryan, who of course can make a broomstick look good. So Bryan tries to take the fight to the biggest member of the Jamaican bobsled team quite early, but Big E drops him with a nice STO out of the corner, kind of like how Samoa Joe does it. So Langston hits shoulders to the midsection and a big back body drop. Now Bryan tries to fight back slightly with some kicks. Hits his kicks, even the buzzsaw kick. Bryan goes up top and AJ distracts the ref. She distracts the ref. Dolph trips up Daniel Bryan, knocking him off the top rope. Kane goozles Dolph for the choke slam, but Langston beels Bryan over the top onto Kane. So both men are down. Dolph rolls Bryan back in the ring. Langston hits the worthless finish and 3 count in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So, not a great debut for Big E Langston, but it was dominant. So, like I said, Daniel Bryan could make a broomstick look good, and it was okay. Now, I guess we put over the new USA television series, The Moment, the Kurt Warner show, where he basically gives people another chance to live out their dreams. That's an awesome concept, but I don't care about it on Raw. Up next, you're going to see The Miz defend the Intercontinental Championship against Wade Barrett. Of course, The Miz won the Intercontinental Championship last night in about a 6-minute matchup. Forget what day it is. At WrestleMania in about a 6-minute matchup during the hour-long pre-show. Yes, they gave the one match on the pre-show 6 minutes. That is unforgivable. So, Barrett is already in the ring. Yay, he hits the jobber entrance the night after WrestleMania. That's a good sign. And then Miz comes out with the WWE Intercontinental Championship around his waist. Excuse me. So in the middle of the match, as usual, we get back as normal. Miz goes for the clothesline in the corner. Barrett locks up Winds of Change out of nowhere, the same spot they did in the pre-show, and still only gets a near fall. So Barrett drives the elbow off the apron. What he does, this looked awesome, by the way. Barrett actually did the bang bang, and he hit the Cactus Jack hip buster, dropping the elbow off the ring apron onto a prone Miz on the outside. It looked amazing. He rolls Miz back in the ring, only gets a 2 count. So Barrett locks in a rear chin lock and reversed into a belly to back suplex. Miz going with big left hands and goes for an Irish whip. Barrett reversals and gets hit with a huge knee strike from the Miz. And they go for the old school expulsion, and it didn't really work very well. And the crowd just lets him have it. So Miz hits the clothesline in the corner again. He crowns him off the top rope, only gets a 2 count. Goes for the figure 4. This time Barrett fights out, and the Miz hits the snap DDT for another near fall. Barrett goes for Wasteland. Miz fights out of it. Barrett tosses Miz up, and Miz catches the leg and goes for the figure 4. Barrett struggles and finally gets to the ropes to the delight of the crowd, who are 100% behind Wade Barrett at this point. So Barrett readies for the bullhammer from the top, but Miz catches him this time. He goes for a superplex. Barrett slams Miz's head into the ring post, knocking him off onto the canvas. He sets up for it. Barrett goes for the bullhammer. This time he connects. 1, 2, 3, and Wade Barrett wins the Intercontinental Championship the night after he lost it. So, I was a very enjoyable match. Went almost 13 minutes. I don't mind having these two in the ring together. And Wade Barrett once again has a championship around his waist. So, that's always a good thing. And the crowd loved it. It seems to me like the only reason The Miz went over at WrestleMania is because they wanted to heat the crowd up. So, that's interesting. I don't know where The Miz goes next. I mean, Fandango and The Miz is what I predicted on the video you may or may not ever see. But I don't know at this point. Actually, I'm checking that video right now. Yeah, iPod Touch is not as great as it used to be. And that's horrible because it's actually more powerful than this iPhone I have right now. But anyway. So we see Bricky backstage. Yeah, I can see Brad Maddox on my screen. That's always a good thing. They're gushing about how well WrestleMania went. And so angry Sheamus comes in, barging into the office, demanding a match with the Big Show. So Maddox says, okay, that's fine, but don't forget, we do this for you, you owe us one. So Sheamus really could care less. As long as he can kick the Big Show's head in, that's all that matters. So, it looks like we're getting the Big Show against Sheamus. Or so we think. So we come back from commercial break. Booker T is getting praise backstage about just being inducted in the 2013 WWE Hall of Fame when Randy Orton stops him and says, I'm going to congratulate you for the Hall of Fame induction, but I want the Big Show tonight. I want to right this wrong of convincing Sheamus to trust him, and that's of course causing them to lose at WrestleMania to the Shield. Booker seems a tad reluctant, but Orton butters him up, being a Hall of Famer and the only real general manager, given the fact that Vicky's only title is managing supervisor, which we still don't know what that means. Booker agrees, and he makes it Orton versus Show. So, I don't know how Sheamus is going to like that. Probably not very much. So we see Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter out. Coulter says things didn't really go their way last night, but he asked for something he hasn't before. He wants support from us. He convinces this crowd to start chanting USA to support Jack Swagger and Jack Swagger's America. So that's what they do. We go to commercial break, and we come back with Ricardo Rodriguez in a 9-minute for Alberto Del Rio's entrance. We actually timed it. We're timing these now. And here comes the World Heavyweight Champion to the ring. So we have a handicap match, Alberto Del Rio taking on Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter. So basically, Del Rio locks on the cross-arm breaker in the ropes and goes up top. Swagger shoves him off the top into the barricade on the outside and made a sickening thud, and then we went to commercial break. So Swagger pins Del Rio for a 2 count and continues to work on the bad ankle, which is injured mid-match. So he misses the shoulder to the ring post, and Del Rio goes to work, clothesline, and Swagger's weight tweaks the bad ankle on the backbreaker attempt, the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker attempt. So Del Rio hits the thrust kick to the side of the head while he's grounded on the canvas, only gets near fall. Del Rio tries to get back into the match. Swagger hits a nice over-the-head belly-to-belly suplex and locks on the Patriot Lock. Del Rio finds the ropes this time. Swagger tries for the lock again, counter into the cross-arm breaker, and Swagger tap, tap, tap like Sammy Davis Jr. About 11 minutes. So the doctors are checking on ADR's injured ankle, because of course it was injured earlier on in the match. And basically, it worked on the entire match. So the crowd, the whole time this match, literally they chanted, "We want Ziggler, we want Ziggler." And you know what? That's exactly what happens. Ziggler's music hits to one of the biggest pops of the night, and he runs out with the briefcase. And yes, Dolph Ziggler is cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase the night after Raw, just like I told you all that he would. So Ziggler goes to work on rights the second that Del Rio struggles to his feet. He hits the name dropper, only gets the near fall. This time, he goes for the splash in the corner, but Alberto Del Rio out of the way in the nick of time. He somewhat hits his step-up enziguri, but it kind of just was more of a glancing blow, and I'm being generous about that. So once again, he cannot follow up because of his bad leg and his ankle and the way that it's affecting him, so it only gets a 2 count this time. The crowd wants Ziggler to win more than anything. So Del Rio this time goes for the cross arm breaker and he locks it in. Ziggler's struggling. He's getting ready to tap out. The crowd is getting ready to completely riot. But what Ziggler does in a really smart move, he tweaks the bad leg, thus breaking the cross arm breaker. And when Del Rio struggles up to his feet, nails the zigzag, and the entire crowd chants 1, 2, 3 as Dolph Ziggler finally cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase and wins the World Heavyweight Championship last night on Raw. Awesome. So Dolph celebrates in the ring with AJ and Big E, and the crowd is extremely, and that's an understatement, into Dolph Ziggler and his new World Heavyweight Championship. So, we get our moment, and now, well, basically, I'm going to go with my moment, and now we're getting Will's moment, because up next, here comes The Undertaker, and this is a very heel-friendly crowd, and obviously The Undertaker pretty much surpasses anything heel or face, so he's going to get cheered regardless what he is. So, didn't matter. So, we see The Undertaker come to the ring, and we have the, I love the Chiron. I love the nameplate for The Undertaker because it kind of just, appears out of the fog, and it says The Undertaker, and it looks like the WrestleMania 11 font. We'll get the purple and the black. I mean, it works really well. So, the crowd pops big for him, as always. He gets in the ring. Undertaker chants ring throughout the building. So, Undertaker realizes right away what kind of a crowd he's dealing with, and the fact that they're going to support him. And right away, he makes the mention that he dedicated that match to the memory of the late, great Paul Bearer. And everybody goes crazy for it. And it's something that I told Will 2 seconds before it happens. I was like, he's going to get attacked by the Shield. Sure enough, we heard the walkie-talkie sound and the Shield's music hits. And here they come. So the Shield come out. Reigns, Rollins, and Ambrose surround the ring. So Undertaker's ready. He's going to fight all 3 men. Boom! And the fire just shoots throughout the ring post. And Hell No come to the ring. So we've got the Shield at ringside staring down Hell No and The Undertaker, and the Shield, of course, smartly retreat back through the crowd. So, yeah, we've set the ball in motion for the Shield against Hell No and The Undertaker somewhere down the road. Maybe, I don't know, Extreme Rules possibly? Could happen. Maybe Undertaker's not going away and only working once this year. Maybe he's actually going to stick around for a while. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with The Undertaker on a regular, not a regular schedule, but a limited schedule. That's fine. You know, honestly, I don't even have a problem with Triple H on a limited schedule, and he'll be on SmackDown, actually. That'll be taped tonight, and of course will air on Friday on Sci-Fi. So maybe Triple H will be back for a limited schedule too. I mean, obviously, there is some vested interest in some of the new talent, but when it all boils down to it, the ratings, the buy rates are all hinged on the Attitude Era guys. I mean, it may be right, it may be not right, but it's still how it works. I mean, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, these are people that pushed the pay-per-view on Sunday, including The Undertaker, which I don't count The Undertaker really because he can still wrestle now, but Triple H really doesn't, and Brock Lesnar doesn't very often. So, I mean, it's all about the Attitude Era. They need to build new guys. And tonight, I think they did build someone new in the new World Heavyweight Champion, Dolph Ziggler. So, up next, supposedly, Mark Henry against John Cena. But, once again, Michael Cole screws up because that match is not until much later in the evening. And when we come back from commercial break, Josh Matthews is interviewing Dolph Ziggler. He says this is his WrestleMania moment. It's about damn time, and I totally agree with you, Dolph. And he's going to shine it up and show it off. Now, Dolph Ziggler's come a long way, folks. Nikki in the Spirit Squad. He was the caddy for Kerwin White when Chavo Guerrero was doing that very, very, very controversial gimmick on Raw. And now, he is the World Heavyweight Champion. Kudos to you, sir. Kudos to Dolph Ziggler for finally being able to carry the World Heavyweight Championship that I believe he has deserved since day one. Now just give me that feud with Daniel Bryan, and we'll be square WWE. It'll be fine. I'll even forgive you for Antonio Cesaro not being on the show tonight. But we'll figure that out in the near future. So, not the main event. We come back with a WTF 6-man tag with 3-man band against R-Truth, Santino Marella, and Zack Ryder, who is sporting his WrestleMania gear. What he would have wore at WrestleMania. Excuse me. So, Truth hit a shoulder block to Heath Slater and hits a palm strike. Slater hits a punch to Santino, who tags back out to Ryder. And basically, Ryder gets a huge pop from the New Jersey crowd. Not as big as it would have been a couple years ago, but still not bad. So Jinder hits a punch, Ryder ducks this time, and Mahal sends Ryder to the floor. Drew McIntyre rolls Ryder back in. They hit frequent tags back and forth, keeping Ryder isolated in their corner. Smart move from 3MB. Ryder nails a neck breaker, and Truth and Mahal go to the outside. Santino goes for the Cobra. Drew stops him, but Marella pulls away and accidentally hits the Cobra on Heath Slater for the 3 count. So, 3.5 minutes. We talk about WrestleMania week and showing all the TV appearances that a lot of the superstars have had over the week, the auctions, the celebrities praising the excitement Mania brings, and the Be a Star anti-bullying campaign, and also the WrestleMania Reading Challenge. So Orton and Sheamus are arguing over Randy Orton going behind Sheamus' back to get at the Big Show. Sheamus shouts Orton down and says he will take care of it. So they come back from commercial, and basically, before this, we are asked to tweet to see who will face the Big Show tonight. Hashtag WWE Orton, hashtag WWE Sheamus. How about hashtag WWE 3-way, guys? It's easy. So, here's where it gets fun. Right after the poll results are announced, which basically lets Randy Orton win 77-23, Booker and Vicky are out, and they make this match between Randy Orton and Sheamus to see who's going to face the Big Show. So, not really much of a point to the poll. Shows how much you matter, WWE Active and WWE Universe. So, like I said, this is when it started to get fun. So, just gonna talk about this in order. So, they lock up and they exchange holds. This is the match that we wanted at WrestleMania. This is the match that they wanted at WrestleMania, was Randy Orton and Sheamus, but we get it the night after. So, this is what would have happened at WrestleMania. So, the crowd starts with the Ole chants. And Soriel Generico is still at NXT right now, and Samoa Joe is working for TNA, but they're still enjoying themselves. So Orton hits a back elbow, Sheamus hits a shoulder block, drops the knee, Orton tries a hip toss, Sheamus nails him with a clothesline, only gets a 2 count. Sheamus locks in a headlock, Orton fights out, hits the Bruiser Brody style knee drop, only gets a 2 count. So Orton goes for the rear chin lock, and the crowd could care less about this match. They just want to entertain themselves, and all of us watching on television. So Sheamus counters and gets the 2 count. He locks in a reverse chin lock, and the fans are chanting for Rob Van Dam. So Sheamus hits the Finley roll and only gets a 2 count. Now they start chanting JBL. So after that, we start hearing the Jerry chant, so cheering for Jerry Lawler. And Orton counters the battering ram with the Brian Pillman counter, which is a dropkick to the face. Right there, people start chanting Michael Cole. Code Red, problem, Michael Cole being chanted, not a good idea. So, mid-match, Sheamus is fighting out with rights. Orton hits a knee to the midsection. Fans start chanting ECW at the top of their lungs. So, Sheamus hits kicks to Orton's knee. They exchange rights. Sheamus gets the Irish Curse, only gets the near fall. So, the crowd in this match, because they're so bored, they're doing the wave. They're doing the wave during this matchup. So, Sheamus fires up, hits Irish hammers, and Sheamus hits a knee lift. And he goes for the clubber and blows in the ropes like he likes to do. And props to JBL for mentioning Dusty Rhodes when he said that. So it's the slingshot into the shoulder tackle. Orton floats out, hits a snap backbreaker, Mike Sanders 3.0. Crowd starts chanting for Randy Savage. So Orton is so off of his game right now, it's not even funny. He is so flustered, and you can definitely tell Randy Orton just doesn't know what to make of this crowd tonight. Orton hits clothesline, duck to clothesline, Samoa Joe power slam, you know how we do. And hits the horrible T-bone exploder suplex. HBK chant starts. Nails a snake bite DDT, which you'd think would have got a Jake the Snake chant. Did not. So Orton sizes up for the RKO. Reversed into white noise. Start chanting HBK again. Sheamus readies the Brogue Kick. He misses this time, and the Big Show's music hits, and he comes to the ring. Now this is when it's fun. So Show tosses Sheamus into the ring post. He's in the ring with Orton. The fans start chanting, "Thank you, Big Show," for ending this, for ending all the problems of this match. Guys, this was supposed to be the World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania. Could you imagine what would have happened now after watching it tonight? So Randy Orton gets knocked out, of course, and the crowd's going crazy for the Big Show at this point. He literally drags Orton out, he whips him into the barricade, almost cuts him in half with a spear. He harpoons him, ladies and gentlemen, trademark JJ Sexay. So I am going to put this on the charger. Give me a second, folks. 20% of battery remain. Alright. So we're going to sit down. So, yeah, we're going to look up and sit down. Oh, this is cool. Alright. So, once again, the crowd's going crazy for the Big Show. He drags Orton out. He whips him hard in the barricade. He nails him with the harpoon. Show beels Orton into the land of Justin Roberts, where he resides, and the scared as hell timekeeper at this point. He tosses aside a couple more chairs, the computer chairs like the one I'm sitting in right now, and of course they miss. They don't get in the ring like they wanted to. He lays into Orton some more, walks off. The crowd's booing him because he wouldn't toss in one more chair. So Mark Henry and John Cena will be later in the evening. And that's mentioned finally that it's going to be the actual main event, So we come back from commercial break, and this is when stuff started to happen, folks. So, Fandango comes out, and he's going to be facing off against Kofi Kingston. The match we should have got about 4 weeks ago. So, he's stretching out. He dances out of the hold from Kofi, and the crowd start humming his theme song. Literally, they start humming his theme song during the match. Now, this crowd's awesome. So Jericho hits the ring for the DQ, and he starts beating Fandango like he owes him money. He tosses him over the barricade in Justin Roberts' land, bounces him off the announce table, knocking JBL's hat off, mind you. A nice nod to their 2008 feud. And rolls him back in the ring. He locks in the walls of Jericho. Ref trying to pull him off. He won't break it. Jericho finally calms down slightly. Codebreaker. So Fandango laid out after the pose. So he's announced the winner by disqualification. And still grabs the mic and announces his name as Fandango. The crowd is dancing. Literally, they're dancing. Do 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 do. And seriously, this goes on all night. This isn't the first time you'll hear this tonight. I mean, this isn't the last time I was going to say it. So, after this, the crowd is, of course, really getting into him, and Fandango is being cheered, kind of like how Daniel Bryan was last year, the night after WrestleMania. So, maybe a face turn somewhere in the near future for him. Who knows? We'll see what happens next week. So, we come back from commercial break, and Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler and JBL all recap the Triple H Brock Lesnar match. And despite being locked in the Kimura 3 times, Triple H's arm isn't broken, thankfully. So Paul Heyman's backstage, and he is amused that ignorance is still bliss in New Jersey. He's trying to turn the crowd, and the crowd are chanting ECW, and they're chanting for Heyman. So he's not going to turn the crowd tonight. Not tonight. The crowd almost bites at it, but no dice, because there's way too many Paul Heyman guys in this crowd this evening. So Heyman asks HBK and Triple H how do they feel after getting smashed in by Brock Lesnar. Lesnar is ready to fight, but he doesn't fight for free. So he's not going to be on Raw tonight. Next week, however, CM Punk is going to deliver what he thought about what happened at WrestleMania, and he's going to talk about that match against The Undertaker. Wow. Then we get our 8-person mixed tag that was supposedly going to happen at WrestleMania, but got canceled due to time restraints, even though we had way too much time taken up with the Puff Daddy concert, even though it was cool hearing It's All About the Benjamins again. And 3 Kimura locks didn't have to be used. I mean, could have been 2. That'd have been some time there. I mean, some of the Rock Cena promos, I mean, cut some of that out. We've already seen it on Raw and SmackDown over and over again. So, I mean, we'd have had time for it, but we didn't. So, the Rhodes Scholars get over with the crowd. And when we come back, Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls are in the ring, along with the Rhodes Scholars and the Bella Twins. So in the middle of the match, Naomi hits the rear view on one of the Bellas. They tag out to Cody, and Naomi hits a head scissor. Sweet Tea hits the senton, and he's shoveling. He's shoveling. You know what he's shoveling, guys. And it's not dirt, folks. So the Bellas distract. Cody hits the Beautiful Disaster, and the Bellas hit a double butt bump. So Sweet Tea gets to take that, so he's a lucky guy. So Damien Sandow tags in Cubierto Acquiette, the elbow of disdain for a 2 count. Tensai comes back in, tags in Brodus Clay. Headbutt, splash, and Sia with the T-bone suplex of his own on Damien Sandow. The Bellas break up the pin attempt. The Funkadactyls take them down. Cody sent over the top rope by Sweet Tea. Sandow with rights to Tensai, but gets sandwiched between Tons of Funk. Double splash, and 1, 2, 3. So, more of the moment. Who cares? Alright, non-title match, John Cena against Mark Henry, and we're going to end the show real quick because I have a nice surprise for you guys, and just give me a second. I'm going to actually work on that right now. So, 1 second. So, that was our main event, folks. No. That's about as long as it lasted, to be totally honest. I'm typing. Have some fun. So, I'm probably going to get some heat for this in a second. So, Cena literally dances around Mark Henry, and Cena, of course, is kind of pissing off the world's strongest man, and he flattens John Cena. Hits a headbutt, whips him into the corner, Henry misses the splash. Cena's shoulder block doesn't work the first time, but this time it bumps Henry down on the second one. Henry powders to the outside. He catches Cena coming and bounces it off the ring announce table. JBL's mentions, where's the Spanish announce table when you need it? I wonder where it is tonight. So Cena tries to put Henry through the table with the World's Strongest Slam. Cena slips out, goes for the AA, and Cena shoves Mark Henry into the steps. The ref's counting. Cena back in. Mark Henry doesn't get back in. 3.5 minutes. Count out win for John Cena. Crowd hates this ending. I don't like this ending. So Mark Henry lays out John Cena, hits the World's Strongest Slam, hoisting the WWE Championship over his head. Feed me more. Yay. Here comes Ryback. So he hits the meat hook on Mark Henry, takes Mark Henry out of the ring. Crowd is anticipating as Ryback towers over Cena, but extends a hand to help him up, and they exchange a few tense words. Cena goes to celebrate. Ryback seems to steal the thunder with his Feed Me More chants. Cena tries to get in on it a bit, and Cena gets nailed with the meat hook. The crowd goes insane for this. He yells, finish it. He picks Cena up, shell shock, and lays out the WWE Champion, flips him off, mind you, and holds the championship in the air as the entire crowd is chanting, feed me more. So we are getting our Ryback John Cena match coming up at, I don't know, either Extreme Rules or SummerSlam, probably Extreme Rules. And that will be for the WWE Championship. Not the turn I wanted to see. I obviously wanted to see Cena turn heel because everybody does. But it's probably never going to happen at this point. Even though I'm still holding true that if I said it, if it does happen, I said it first. Well, the way I said it. If it happens, I said it first. You guys can vouch for that. So, interesting Raw. And you know what? I enjoyed it. It was awesome. And it was fun having Will here. And Will and I really enjoyed the show. And hopefully we'll be doing more WWE recaps in the near future. So I hope you guys like this video. And after last night, there's only one way to end this, to be totally honest. The whole crowd, after the show was over, John Cena came out and got a huge pop from the crowd because we were off camera again, so it didn't really matter. He put over Dolph Ziggler, he put over the crowd in general, and the crowd at one point literally started chanting, "We are awesome." And the fact that they made Fandango last night, even to the point that they played themselves out. Literally, they were humming his theme and singing his theme as they were leaving the building. Furthermore, I've seen touts and YouTube videos of them doing it in different places, even outside the building, so this continued for quite a while. And you know, given the fact that it was WrestleMania, and given the fact that it was Raw after WrestleMania, a lot of new things had to happen. We saw Dolph Ziggler finally cash in. We see that we're leading towards John Cena and Ryback. Fandango and Chris Jericho, they're not done yet, folks. And Mark Henry finally gets some respect, and hopefully he'll get some reaction out of this. So it's nice seeing him do something, because I really like Mark Henry. And Daniel Bryan and Kane and The Undertaker against The Shield, yes please, needs to happen as soon as possible. So folks, I'm going to get off here, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, you can comment on it. And if you don't want to comment, that's fine, I understand. So I'm going to get off here. Hope you enjoyed the new format too, so I'm enjoying this. And there's only one way to end this show. Only one way I can see to end this show, and you know what that is? This way. If you like this, then thumbs up it. If you want to leave a comment, do just the same. Continue to watch. Continue to subscribe. And until tomorrow, that's all I gotta say about that. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh yeah. Fandango, you are now a made man, sir. And that's all I gotta say about that.